Hello, hello. Welcome to Level Up Stress Down. I'm your girl Nia. Just want to say welcome here. If this is your first time, I have lost over 120 pounds um, between the bariatric surgery and between some of the, I always usually say these wrong, so between the GLP-1s. So I have been a yo-yoer, up and down for many, many years of losing the weight and gaining the weight and losing the weight and gaining the weight and losing it as for as long as I can count. So, but that is my story. So welcome here. And yeah, for the people that have been here, I've been documenting my journey for a month now, a little over a month, I think. And so for the ones that have started, then you know. So, but what I wanted to talk about, so I've been seeing, I think my algorithm on YouTube has, maybe it's probably what I've been looking up in different things. I know that's how that kind of works too. But I've been seeing a lot of videos on people that have, I guess, stopped the medications and have gained a lot of their weight back. Or some people that weren't even on medications that have lost weight and they've gained it back. And I understand. I understand where they've been because I was there so many years. So I've been maintaining, for a while now. So, and very happy to do that. And this time feels different versus all the other times that I was trying to maintain my weight. So I want to say that I want to give a disclaimer because I'm probably going to get into something that people may not want to necessarily hear, or it may trigger you. But I don't do it just on the fact of bringing up issues. That's not what my goal is. My goal is to share some of the things that I've gone through and what kept me as emotional eating, what kept me overweight, and prevented me from healing. My place in life now is a place of wanting to just heal. And I think I've done a lot of healing, but I just want to be a place of peace. That's the word that I really wanted to say. Being at a place of peace with a lot of things that have happened in my life. So a little bit on me is that I have been overweight since I was 9 years old. And like I said, it's been off and on. And I remember at the age of 13, that was probably my first being on any type of weight loss drug. And yeah. So at 13, I was taken to a clinic where they did like the B12 injections, which gives you the energy, which I still do now, gives you the energy and all that. And then I was taking the pill of phentermine. Yes, at 13. That was back in the 90s. So they did not have like all the technology and everything that they had, and wasn't even asking for IDs and all of that stuff. So it was given that in the context that I was 18 and I really wasn't. I was 13 to get the medication. And so I did start the medication at like 13 years old. And that was the beginning of definitely a cycle, but I was definitely big by that time too. So it was just up and down. And so being through high school, I definitely was active and was a cheerleader and all of that. So the weight was down in high school, although I was still one of the bigger girls, but I still was in shape and was fit. But what makes, like I was saying, going back, what makes this time different of where I will be able to, in my mind, be able to maintain it is I'm a firm believer in being present where you're currently at and enjoying the moment. For so long, years, real long, lot of years. I was always where I would say, when I get this degree, I'm going to do this. When I make this money, I'm going to do this. When I get this job or this contract, I'm going to do this. When I get to this weight, I'm going to do this. And I realized I was always striving for that goal. Whatever that goal was, then when I get to that goal, then I would make another goal, but it would just keep me pushing, which is great for purpose. Absolutely here for it. But now in my 40s, I realized some of the things that I probably should have enjoyed being present and being in the moment, I missed. So for instance, my children are older. My daughter is 20 and my son is 15. And when they were smaller, which I miss those days that they were smaller. So if you all have little kids, enjoy that, because that time goes by so fast and you won't get that back. So just enjoy it. So I don't regret much in life. I always take everything as a lesson, but that is definitely one thing that I wish that I would have soaked up more. I thought I was, but I don't think I was, because sometimes I just felt like I just need to get through this day. Oh, I just need to get through this year with them being in school, or oh, we need to just get through this point because the behavior or something was going on and kids being kids. And now I miss those things. So enjoy it for that. But so that's what's led me to wanting to be present in the moment and enjoying where you're at. So again, if you've been with me and you know, and if you're new here, then I'll tell you. So one of my goals is that I'll be actually upcoming next is a lipo surgery, which is coming up, and I'm in the home stretch of that. So you'll be seeing footage from that. Not footage from the surgery, but footage leading up to the surgery and the aftercare and stuff like that. And so then after that, there will be something else. But one of the goals, it's kind of a vanity goal, but it means a lot to me, is to actually be able to wear a two-piece when we go on vacation. Sounds simple enough, but I've never been able to wear one comfortably that I felt okay, because I'm top heavy. So even when I wear swimsuits, I've always had to wear a bra up under it, because the girls was heavy and they just go on where they got their own mind and do what they want to. So for me, that's been a big thing. So what I've decided to do, that's it, even though it's a goal and I'm working towards that and I'm putting in the work to get there, I've realized you have to start enjoying the moments of where you're at, because you may not, for whatever reason, you may not make it there. And then you'll have all this time that has passed and you didn't enjoy your life. You didn't enjoy the grind. You didn't enjoy putting in the work. So I try to celebrate. I'm always celebrating everything, but I try to celebrate the small wins, because that is what keeps you going. So I say that to say, enjoy the present. So I enjoy my present. Now, still going back, and I know I've kind of been skirting around it, but why do I feel this time will be different, where I will maintain it or been maintaining, is because I realized in healing, and this is through therapy. So this is not a therapy session right here. This is just maybe to help someone else. Maybe you've gone through some things that you're not really sure, and you've worked to stuff it down, but you don't know that it's still causing you issues in your life and it's still triggering. You may not know. So this is something to call out, maybe for one person, that this might help. So this is not therapy for me. I've been going to therapy for years. So, and I encourage it. But what I will say, and this is the disclaimer that I will give, this may be triggering for others. I will not go into details, and it's not for sympathy or anything like that. It's just for calling out for awareness. So at the age of 19, that's not true. At the age of 9, take the 1 off in the 10's place. So at the age of 9, I'll say molested. I don't know if I can say that on here, so I won't repeat that. But definitely inappropriate relations um, with someone that was in my family. So that's about as much as I'll go with that at the age of 9. And I was not overweight till all that time. Life was beautiful up until then. So what happened after, and that happened for years. Um, for me, as a, I wasn't a as fearless as I feel now. I wasn't like that then. I just was. The world is so peachy and rosy, and everybody loves everybody, and because innocent. I was a child, so of course I'm going to have that innocence, and to have that taken away, that was traumatic. And I think for all these years, well, up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I stuffed that down. And what happened at the age of 9 was I turned to food. I turned to comfort food. I turned to eating more. I love strawberry Pop-Tarts. Love them to this day. We got some downstairs. My son loves them. I love them. But I know how to eat it in moderation. When I do eat it, I don't eat it that often, but I do know. But I turned to a lot of food as comfort. And I felt that because eating the food made me feel better to get my mind off of things that have happened to me. And so I gained a lot of weight. So by the time I was 12, I was really, really overweight. And because I felt like maybe if I was bigger, or maybe then the things that were happening to me wouldn't happen. And so that's kind of how the weight came on. So of course I didn't tell any other family members or anything like that. It's just, it eventually stopped when I was 12. So physically it did stop. However, mentally it stayed with me for decades. And I didn't even know that it did. So, like I said, I mentioned that I was taken to the clinic to get the B12s, and was introduced to phentermine at 13. And of course that I lost the weight from that. And then by that time I was getting ready to go into middle school, and I was getting ready to go to high school. And so the weight wasn't really a big issue in high school because I was super active, and you got a high metabolism at that point anyway. But a lot of things that I felt like led me to that was sometimes when people are aggressive to you, in turn, you become the aggressor. Because I always felt that I was unprotected. I felt that I was always alone. And even though I'm the baby of a huge family, my siblings are older than I am. So even though it was a lot of us, I was still kind of raised alone because I was the baby of everybody. And everybody was grown up and doing their lives. And so I still felt alone. So I still didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to or tell what was going on. So we just didn't discuss a lot of those things. So I ate and ate and ate. And then as a teenager, I definitely became rebellious. I felt like I was always so sweet and so nice and kind and loving to everybody, and just wanted everybody to be my friend. And, and people are just so good all over and kind-hearted. And what happened was late elementary, maybe 6th and 7th grade, going into middle school, it was just like I was bullied. I was talked about for nappy hair, big girl, buck teeth, talked about. And it was like, dang, why do I have to go through all of this when all I want is to be loved or feel a part of something? And I felt like I needed the validation from people. And so what happened to me going in was being the girl who was being talked about. It changed me into going to be in the people that was bullying me, and I became a bully. I did not target people who couldn't defend themselves. I more so was the one who, where people were messing with other people, and I became like that. And I became where I had the wit, the slick tongue, and I'm an Illinois girl, right outside Chicago. So so you had to kind of, it was either you had to move with it or you was gonna get left behind. And honey, I wasn't getting left behind. So, um, so I went through a lot of things that I really brought on myself. You know, I had the good grades, being in the academy program and being in Kappa, creative performing arts, or gifted, and the gifted program, but still trying to fit in and still trying to be with the street crowd just because, so that was a lot. And so at the age of 17, I was shot in both legs, had to learn how to walk again, went through surgery, went through rehabilitation of learning to walk again. Um, and so my teenage years were great years, but they were rough years based on decisions that I made and not knowing that it stemmed from a lot of the deep downness. It stemmed from, I wanted to make sure that I was never put, and I don't like the word never, but that I was never put in a position where somebody could take my power or somebody could make me feel helpless ever again. And so that's why I went through a lot of things that I went through as a teenager. What I didn't realize until I started going to counseling was how the things that happened to me from 9 to 12 years old affected me decades later with emotional eating. And I realized that it was when I felt scared, when I felt anything, I would always turn to food for comfort because that was the only thing I knew that comforted me. That was the only thing I felt protected from, that would protect me from whatever it was. So I said all that to say, in where you are in your present moment, whether you are starting your journey of weight loss or you've lost your weight or you're in the middle of it or you don't have any weight to lose, you're not even on a weight loss journey, you're just in the journey of life, because we're all in a journey of life if you're living. I said that to say, in order to be in present, you have to, and to be fully present and to be healed, and you have to look towards the future and whatever your future is and guide, in your goals. But you also have to acknowledge your past. You have to heal from your past. Because if you don't, your past will always dictate your present and your future subconsciously. It may ruin relationships that you have because you're holding on to all that baggage that you didn't even know that you were holding on to. As I went to therapy, like that was 5 years ago, and I couldn't believe the things that I talked about and shared, and I felt so much lighter. Like I literally felt like a weight had been lifted off my chest to even get it out, that to acknowledge that those things happened to me. And I didn't do that with the intent on outing somebody or saying this was, I did it for me to heal myself so that I could let go of the things that happened to me beyond my control. I felt shame for so long. I felt guilty for so long, even though I was a child. And so I'm saying to any of you that may hear this, that if there's something that you're holding on, it may be holding you back from living your best life. You have to heal and let go for yourself. I was able to do it through God and through counseling and wanting to get past, wanting to not feel depressed. there was a time in my life that, again, I'm probably going to share something else as a disclaimer too. A point that I really don't talk about this, but I have talked about it, of course, with my husband and my counselor, and this is what prompted me to start going to counseling 5 years ago. But as I don't want to cry about that, but I want to live and I want to enjoy this life because life is short. But there was a moment in my life that I did not want to be here. And for me, I can't believe that I even had those thoughts, but I did. I felt like I didn't have anything to offer this world anymore. I felt like I had was taking care of my kids, but I felt like, what do I do? I'm taking care of everybody else, but my cup is so empty. I don't have anything to give. I can't continue to stay on this hamster wheel of life and not feel like I have a purpose. And I realized, for me, a person that always has goals and get into goals, I have to keep that. I have to always have something. It doesn't have to be big things. It just has to be small things. A lot of my big goals, I take them down anyway, and I break them into small goals anyway. But during this time that I didn't want to be here, my little neighbors, I don't know if you can hear them with their little racing burnout that they call themselves trying to do. They just got a new little race car, and they are really, really trying to do that. And our HOA has been all over that. I don't know if y'all could hear that or not, but okay. So, that made me lose my train of thought. Them doing that again. But like I said, it was a point in time that I did not want to be alive, and I knew we had a problem. I felt the only thing that really kept me from not wanting to do it, I've born and raised Christian and all, and there's a heaven and there's a hell. I knew I had a problem when that didn't even scare me, as to you'll live eternity in hell. That didn't even scare me anymore, because I almost really felt like, not almost, I felt like it's probably better than hell on earth at this point. And it was a deep place and a dark place. And I was trying to shield it from my children, of course. My husband saw it because he saw it, and he was the one that was like, okay, something is wrong. We gotta get her help. And the only reason I just felt like I couldn't is because I didn't want my children to go through their mom having that over their head, that their mom took her life. I didn't want my elderly parents having to go through losing another child. Even though it was sickness and accidents that happened, but I didn't want them to have to go through that, because I saw what that did to them, and I didn't want them to have to go through that. And I'm so grateful that I didn't do that, because I love my life. I love living. And even in a dark and deep place that I was, where I just felt so hopeless and I felt so alone and I felt like I couldn't keep pushing, that I didn't have anything to give to anyone else or to myself. I'm so grateful that God just grabbed me and kept me. I'm so grateful that my husband knew something was wrong and cared to help get me help, because I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have had this channel. I wouldn't have been able to enjoy life. And so I say, if you're going through something, you're not alone. You are not alone. This is a hard life, and you have to celebrate everything. Take your small wins. People are losing their jobs. their financial stabilities. It's bigger than people have sickness that they're dealing with. And life is hard. So if you have your health, if you are blessed to have financial security, if you're able to have food, regardless if you're doing with your weight, but you're able to know that you're going to get your next meal, you are so blessed. You are so blessed. And you have so much to offer this world. So, I didn't know I was going to necessarily say all that part too, but it's my truth. And if it helps somebody else, then it was worth sharing. It's just what it is. I'm so grateful that I'm here today to share my journey. I look at my life in the years over my life and see all the situations that I've been through, that I made it through. God brought me through. He didn't leave me, never left me. I left him many times, many times. But he always took care of me. When I was even foolish and doing foolish things, he protected me. He brought me out of them because he knew that I had a purpose. I didn't know that I had a purpose, and I'm still discovering what it is that I'm really here for. But he knew and had a plan for me that I could have never imagined myself. And I'm so grateful. Life is not perfect. Things are hard. But I'm here. At the age of 17, I could have been dead. A lot of people died at that age. I could have been dead, but I didn't. I'm here. I've been stabbed. I've been maced. I'm here to still tell the story. Plenty of fights in the world. Plenty of drug deals that I've seen. I wasn't the drug dealer, but I was around the environment, the street life. Not because my parents had me in that. No, not at all. A suburban kid, to be honest with you. But I put myself in those situations to just try to fit in instead of realizing my gift to the world. And my gift to the world is I didn't have to fit in. Nobody has to fit in. We're uniquely given to this world, and that's what we should focus on. But as a kid, you don't understand that though. So, as I get ready to wrap up this video, I just wanted to share that in order for you to, whatever your goals may be, whatever it is, always pay attention to, not always, but be mindful of your past, because things that probably have happened in your past is blocking you from being your present and beautiful and amazing self. As much as we give to the world and to others, we want to make sure we give to ourselves. It's been probably the last couple years that I wake up smiling. Even on days when I know work is going to be a whole lot and we got projects and we're going to deal with some tough clients, and I still wake up smiling. There was plenty of days that I didn't. There was plenty of days that I woke up and I was like, I woke up, Lord, why? Like, that's unthinkable. That's crazy to me for my mind to be like, why am I waking up? Now I wake up and bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. And I go right into my prayer where I pray for everyone. I pray for the entire world. I pray for the administration. I pray for every single person on this earth. because we're all going through things. No matter our nationality, no matter our age, no matter what, we're going through things. We're people. We bleed the same. We're people. Our stories are different, but we still have feelings and we're people. And so I pray that people heal. I pray for everyone's healing, because I realize when people are healed, then you want to see other people heal. You want to be positive to other people. You empathize with people. You're kind to people. When people are mean and people are rude and people are just flippy and don't care, it's usually because they got things going on in their life that they're hurt and they lash out on others. And that's why I pray that for people just to heal. And some don't even know they don't even know what they even healing from, because it's been so embedded that they just stuffed it down and just, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And they just put things on top of it and don't even realize that it's festering from the inside and it's in the inside out. But when I tell you, when you're healing and you love peace, you're going to get a glow that comes from within and out. And people will see that. And people are naturally attracted to that when you are just kind and you want to love others as you love yourself. And you want the best for others as you want the best for yourself. So just wanted to share that because it was on my heart to share. So, but I hope that the goal of this was hopefully that this helps somebody start the journey of healing from themselves. Because if you don't deal, at least that's my opinion, if you don't deal with your past, it's going to always creep up in your present and hurt your chances of your future. You'll still get to the future because a minute later you're in the future. But it may not have been could be as wonderful as it could be if you took the time to heal and deal with the past. So I said all that to say, why does this time feel different that I've been able to maintain? Simply because I took the time to heal. I'm not saying it was easy, because those years of therapy, there was a lot of tears and a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of, oh, I get that, I understand. But it was worth the work. It was worth it. I feel like my relationships, all my relationships, I feel are so much better and have improved because I have improved. I'm able to give what I want in return. The only thing is that I wish I would have probably did counseling a long time ago. And then I probably would have been in a better headspace as my babies were growing up. But time, everything is planned as it's supposed to be. So, but thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And remember, as I always say, be kind. Be kind to people. You never know what somebody is going through. You never know what they're dealing with. And you might just be that one person that smiled at them or said a kind word or whatever the case is, but be kind. We live in a cruel, a hateful, we live in a hateful world. And just being kind to people means so much. Even if they're rude to you, still be kind to them. Like they say, kill people with kindness. You ain't got to kill them, but like them with kindness. It's okay. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. That's them that's going to have all that animosity and that bitterness and all of that. And you going on about your day smiling and going on with your life. So, but I'm your girl, Nia, here at Leveled Up Stressed Down. So I hope that this has inspired somebody to just want the best for yourself. But when you get to a place of maintaining and keeping off the weight, sometimes you have to look back in order to look forward. And that was the one thing that was missing for me all these years of yo-yo dieting. All the times, because I never dealt with the issues that attracted me to comfort in the first place. And since I've done that, I don't have the same relationship with food. Food ain't my best friend no more like it was, because we was here, honey. But we're not. I eat what my body needs to be fueled. And I replace those things with getting out more, walking, if it's just simple around a little cul-de-sac or down the street or something. But you have to do the things that feel good to you. Simply getting flowers from the store and putting them and keeping fresh flowers in my kitchen. Simple things. So it doesn't always have to be about money. Love and kindness, those things are free still in a world of hate and greed. So, all right, y'all, let me get out of here. I kept y'all long enough. So if you have not liked, or if you like this information and want to continue on my journey, then please like and subscribe and comment. So take care. I'm your girl Nia at Leveled Up Stressed Down. Blessings to you.